she's allegedly wearing no makeup. Meanwhile, she's got like the perfect blowout, you know, and like she's completely camera ready, except she didn't put eye makeup on. And she also is pretending that she's crying. And we did a zero in, like we zoomed in just to see. There isn't a tear in sight, Dan. Look at this. I invite the viewers to take a close-up look at this. Where's the tear? There's nothing there. Look, it's an actor's trick. She just keeps wiping and wiping and wiping, so we think she has a heart.
So, picture this. Megyn Kelly is sitting down, scrolling through the latest podcast episode, and suddenly, bam, she calls out Meghan Markle for putting on a full-on performance with fake tears. Yep, those sobs, totally staged. Now, why would Megyn go all Hollywood on us like that? What's the real story behind those watery eyes? Stick around because Megyn's about to unravel the whole drama, and it's way messier than you think.
So contrast all of that with the way she talks about H and their relationship. Here is it. Is it 46 or 47, Lauren? You choose.
If you haven't noticed, my husband's very, very handsome. But his heart is even more beautiful.
Weird. I love that your eyes are sparkling right now.
Oh.
Oh my God. Dan, I threw up in my mouth.
Yes. Yes.
Dan, when you do interviews on your show, do you do the Jamie Kern Lima reactions? Yes. Oh my God, there's something wrong with her. What? Wow, who communicates like that? She's the only thing saving Meghan Markle, because between the two, she's even weirder. But Meghan Markle, this is a tell. Okay, this is a tell. It's the same way on Valentine's Day. You see people post like, my rock, my life partner, the person who saved me. Guaranteed that guy is cheating on her and she knows it.
When Megyn Kelly takes off the gloves, it's like watching a lion with a microphone ready to rip through a soap opera star's performance. Megyn just exposed Meghan Markle for faking tears on that recent podcast, and honestly, it's the kind of drama that feels like it was scripted by the writers of a reality TV show who got bored and decided to throw in an emotional plot twist.
Why don't you like her?
Oh, let me count the ways. There's nothing I like about her. She is a malignant narcissist who cannot get enough of herself while she simultaneously plays the victim. My castle's too small. Yeah. The queen is mean to me. They won't let me call myself Her Royal Highness anymore, but I'm going to put it all over my stationery and on the gifts that I give to my friends, while she never stops whining. And at the same time, I'm getting all worked up. I'm a founder. I'm over it. She's not important. She married for money. It's very clear. She bagged the elephant. She was thrilled she became a, quote, princess.
Whoa. Now Meghan Markle showing up on a podcast and suddenly breaking down into tears, that's headline gold right there. The tears were dramatic, perfectly timed, and, well, a little too perfect. It wasn't the kind of crying where you actually see someone wrestle with real feelings. No, this was more like watching an actor nail their Oscar audition for Best Fake Cry, complete with the sudden sniffles, the well-placed pauses, and those glistening eyes that sparkle just enough to convince you she's in the middle of a heart-wrenching moment.
I interviewed her, Dan, when I was at NBC about creating IT cosmetics. And she did have the high, I can't even do it, my voice is too low, but she had the high squeaky voice a little, but she's really leaning in now in her little podcast with Megyn. And she's gone next octave up, and the two of them have the weirdest dynamic.
But Megyn Kelly, she wasn't buying it for a second. Megyn, with all her media wisdom and uncanny eye for performance art, saw through the entire spectacle. She dissected those tears with the precision of a scientist examining an alien specimen. According to her, those weren't tears born from the depths of genuine emotion. No, those were tears manufactured in a studio somewhere between the sound booth and a drama class. The kind of tears that pop out exactly when the script calls for them, like a cue card flashing sad face now.
She pulled out all the stops. Here is the intro of the episode.
Megyn, Duchess of Sussex, in her first ever podcast interview.
It's happening! It's not about the grandeur of a gesture. It's about I see you. I'm nurturing you and I see you so deeply, and I love being able to see your growth. Of all things, it's making me emotional.
I have full body chills right now.
for them to be able to look back and go, oh my gosh, she has loved us so much.
So what was going on here? Why fake tears on a podcast? Because in celebrity land, vulnerability is currency. You don't just show up and say, hey, here's my story. No, you perform it. You manufacture a tear here, a sob there, and suddenly you're the tragic heroine of your own narrative, drowning in sympathy and Instagram likes. It's less real life and more reality TV meets Shakespeare, where every sniffle is carefully choreographed to hit the emotional bullseye. Megyn Kelly tore apart the timing and delivery like a detective on a crime show. The tears arrived out of nowhere, almost too neatly placed to be accidental. The blinking patterns didn't match genuine crying, and the way the sobbing sounded. Let's just say it lacked the rawness you get when your feelings genuinely betray you. Instead, it had the polished, rehearsed vibe of someone who's seen crying tutorials on YouTube and is definitely going to nail this performance. All right, let's dive headfirst into the delightful mess that is fake tears in celebrity land. Because apparently, it's not just about feeling all the feels, it's about manufacturing them like a factory producing limited edition emotions. Why fake tears, you ask? Well, it turns out that when you're a public figure navigating a media circus that would make even the calmest person scream into their pillow, fake crying becomes a survival skill. The main game here is sympathy. Real, raw, messy sympathy is the currency of celebrity storytelling. And what better way to cash in than to flash those glistening eyes and perfectly timed sobs?
Meghan Markle, as you know, she's launched her little show, whatever, Ever After, and whatever it's called. I don't remember what it's called.
With Love.
And As Ever. Okay, whatever. That's what I'm calling her show. And it's terrible. It's gotten totally panned. And then she announced, oh, I've gotten the second season, which is a lie. And they've already shot all the episodes. So as you guys know, what that means is they shot all these episodes at the same time and intended on 2 seasons from the start, but decided to hold the announcement of season 2 until she started to get panned on season 1 to try to change the narrative to this is a success. Because if this were a true renewal, she would not have shot all the episodes yet. They're not saying we're going to pour more money into this. They already shot everything.
These tears don't just happen randomly. They're strategically deployed like emotional missiles designed to pierce through the thickest armor of public skepticism. By crying on command, celebrities create an emotional connection that's hard to argue with. It's the classic, look at me, I'm vulnerable, don't judge me move, except with the precision of a seasoned chess player plotting their next move. When you fake cry, you're not just showing weakness, you're controlling the narrative, framing yourself as the fragile victim in a story that demands sympathy, retweets, and, of course, endless think pieces dissecting your pain. And it's not just Megyn who's playing the emotional puppet show. Fake tears are basically the unofficial uniform of high-stakes interviews, public apologies, and those painfully scripted charity gala speeches. You know the type, where the sobbing starts suddenly, like someone hit the tear on button backstage, and the whole room collectively gasps as if they're watching the emotional climax of a Shakespeare tragedy. But if you pay attention, the line between genuine emotion and performance is blurrier than ever. Sometimes it's impossible to tell whether a star is genuinely moved or just nailing their well-rehearsed role as the sorrowful celebrity.
Someone who's also acting as a founder inspired this scene from the With Love, Megyn, Megyn, Maureen and I, before we did Blonde Origin. And here's a clip from that special production.
Where are you getting all these mini brainstorms? I'm so impressed by this.
You have to be a founder to really,
I guess,
understand it fully, but maybe in the next wave of our friendship, I'll try to explain it to you. Hold that tight, please.
Okay.
This, of course, didn't come out of the ether. I want to play for you the latest bit from her podcast, which is called Confessions of a Female Founder.
The only thing she found was a rich, famous husband. If that's what constitutes being a founder, then sure, Meghan Markle's a founder. She found a mansion in Montecito to live in. She found a sit-down interview with Oprah to bash and shank her.
Enter Meghan Markle's response to the whole fiasco. Spoiler alert, it was as subtle as a fireworks show in a library. Officially, the statement denied any fakery, insisting that the tears were genuine and that the emotional openness was real. The defense? A masterclass in I'm authentic, you're just jealous. a stance as predictable as a plot twist in a daytime soap. The message was loud and clear. These weren't crocodile tears, but honest expressions of vulnerability, which, to be fair, makes sense in a world where every personal moment is a public spectacle and authenticity is the rarest currency of all. Naturally, the public reaction was a battlefield of its own. On one side, you had the diehard supporters insisting those tears were the real deal, pure and unfiltered, worthy of empathy and applause. On the other hand, the cynics nodded along with Megyn Kelly's take, convinced this was just another manipulative performance designed to keep the spotlight firmly trained on Megyn. It's the kind of polarization that turns every media moment into a social media wrestling match. And trust me, nobody's coming out unscathed. This whole drama, it didn't just shake up Megyn's image, it sent ripples through the ongoing saga of her media presence. Because when Megyn Kelly calls out your tears as fake, it's not a gentle nudge. It's a full-blown spotlight on your emotional resume, making everyone question what's real and what's just another scene in the celebrity soap opera.
Oh my God, Megyn. She has this really famous thing where she says one tap left eye and she can make herself cry on demand. And it's a really good thing to have as an actress. But you're completely right. There were no tears there. And this podcast with Jamie Kern-Lima was absolutely car crash. I mean,
And that skepticism, it's sticky. It lingers. Suddenly, every sniffle, every pause, every glance gets dissected and debated like a crime scene. So, the takeaway here is pretty simple. Fake tears are the ultimate double-edged sword. They can win you sympathy, control narratives, and soften critics. But once called out, they can also turn into a public relations nightmare, making you look less like a vulnerable soul and more like an actor trying to steal the show. And in the glittering, ruthless world of fame, that's a gamble some are willing to take, especially when the alternative is just boring old sincerity. And who wants that on a podcast? And you can't ignore the podcast itself, which felt like it had been carefully scripted to showcase this exact moment. There was a lot of build-up, a bit of dramatic music in the background, and then the big reveal, the tears. It was almost like a fireworks show designed to distract from whatever else was being said. Because let's be honest, when you're playing the sympathy card, you don't want pesky facts getting in the way. But here's where it gets really interesting. The psychology behind all this fakery is fascinating. Celebrities have mastered the art of emotional theater. They've realized that if you want to control the narrative, you don't just tell your story. You make your audience feel your story. And nothing says feel like a good cry. Real or not, those tears tug on heartstrings and soften the critics. They create an emotional smokescreen that says, don't question me. I'm fragile. I'm vulnerable. And you should feel sorry for me.
And that will lead me to the perfect way to cap out this hour of television, and that is with Meghan Markle. Now, there is a reason I'm bringing her up, not just because she fits perfectly in the second half of our show.
Which she
but
does.
Because she does. Because I might actually be having dinner with her tonight.
You mean just you and her, or as like
No.
at an event?
No, I just thought it was a good tease. No, at the Time 100. So the Time 100, I'll be honest, I have real reservations about the whole thing. They say it's the 100 most influential people in the world. I think the fact that Meghan Markle is going to be there is proof enough to everyone that it's not true.
It's all part of the celebrity playbook now. You fake cry, you get the headlines, and suddenly you're untouchable for a bit. It's a performance that blends vulnerability and manipulation, making it tough to tell where the real person ends and the crafted persona begins. Megyn Kelly wasn't just calling out a fake tear, she was exposing the whole act of emotional theater that's become second nature in the world of fame. The public reaction? Oh, it was exactly what you'd expect. The world split into two camps faster than you can say tabloid headline. On one side, there were the loyal fans and defenders who insisted those tears were as real as the Queen's corgis. They said it was authentic, emotional vulnerability, and anyone suggesting otherwise was just mean-spirited gossip. On the other side, the skeptics nodded along with Megyn, convinced that this was just another episode in the ongoing saga of media manipulation. The fallout? Well, let's just say this little drama didn't exactly boost Megyn's credibility. When Megyn Kelly goes in for the kill, you know the damage is done. It's like a spotlight shining right through the smoke and mirrors, revealing that sometimes even the most polished public figures are just actors playing their parts on a very public stage. Ah, the bigger picture, where fake tears and celebrity melodrama meet the cold, hard glare of modern media culture.
When she married Harry, the press was wonderful for her. The British people loved Harry, and they were delighted to see him so happy and in love, and she was playing the role of demure, supportive partner to a T. I mean, very well. It wasn't until she started to make her positions clear and continuously play the victim from the palace that people started to get a feel of who she really was. And then the public opinion turned, and so did the press.
This whole episode with Megyn Kelly calling out Meghan Markle's perfectly timed waterworks isn't just a petty squabble over who cried more convincingly. No, it's a spotlight on the grand theater that celebrity culture has become, where authenticity is about as rare as a unicorn at a Kardashian family reunion. Let's be real. These highly produced emotional moments are less about raw feeling and more about crafting a spectacle. The public doesn't just want to hear the story anymore. They want to feel it. And celebrities have figured out how to manufacture that feeling like it's some kind of emotional fast food. The kind that's quick, convenient, and leaves you suspicious about what's really inside. We're talking staged sobs, rehearsed pauses, and perfectly timed sniffles, all designed to hit your awe button just right. And here's the kicker. Audiences are getting wise to it. The skepticism is growing faster than a viral TikTok dance trend. People no longer just swallow the tears and drama whole. Instead, they're side-eyeing those emotional moments, scrutinizing every twitch of the lip and every suspiciously glistening eye. It's the modern-day equivalent of calling fake news on feelings. The public's asking, is this for real, or is it just another performance designed to keep the spotlight glowing?
Also, I'm a little bit fascinated, right? The mother was born in America, the father was born in America, but Meghan is now telling us that she's 43% Nigerian?
This is the most ridiculous. This is the same woman who said, I never even considered my blackness until the British tabloids started to make a thing out of it. Never even. Now she's like, I am Nigeria. Fellow women, hear me roar. I mean, who is she kidding? She's as white as I am. And she's over there like leaning in. Now I'm the face of the black woman.
In the age of viral moments and influencer culture, where one well-placed emotional breakdown can rack up millions of views and generate oceans of sympathy emojis, the lines between reality and performance blur like bad Photoshop. Authenticity becomes a commodity to be packaged, marketed, and sold. It's less about who you really are and more about who you appear to be, because appearances can trend, and trending is the currency of survival. Whether those tears were as genuine as a toddler's tantrum or as staged as a soap opera finale, the impact on public opinion is undeniable. These moments shape careers, influence narratives, and keep the media machine churning. One well-timed cry can transform a celebrity from public villain to sympathetic victim overnight, or vice versa. It's emotional branding, and it works because humans are wired to respond to vulnerability, even if it's served with a hefty side of skepticism. Megyn Kelly's expose wasn't just a snarky celebrity takedown, it was a peek behind the velvet curtain of media image crafting. It's a reminder that what we see on the surface is often a carefully orchestrated show, designed to manipulate emotions and control the conversation. This isn't gossip, it's media literacy with a megaphone.
On season 1, to try to change the narrative to this is a success. Because if this were a true renewal, she would not have shot all the episodes yet. It's like, they're not saying we're going to pour more money into this. They already shot everything. Anyway, so there's some podcaster out there who said something about Megyn, like, I'm worried you're going to get backlash the way Blake Lively's gotten backlash. And I guess Megyn decided to write this girl a note, and the podcaster, whose name is Amanda Hirsch, posted the note that Meghan Markle sent her. And you guys are not going to believe. Look at this. Look at the stationery. Can you see that? It's got her weird calligraphy, I'm fancy writing. Look at the signature at the top, the little imprint, the emblem. It's a huge M. Can you see what's on top of it, Link?
A crown, a tiara.
It's a crown!
Now ask yourself, is this a genuine moment of human emotion, or is it another episode in the endless series of celebrity performances? And if you thought this saga was over, think again. The Meghan media circus loves a good sequel, and with Megyn Kelly in the ring calling out the act, you can bet the next chapter will be even juicier. So keep your popcorn ready. There's more drama coming, and trust me, it's going to be anything but dry-eyed. And the bigger picture here? This whole episode shines a bright, glaring light on the absurdity of celebrity culture. When fake tears are part of the toolkit for managing your image, it makes you wonder what authenticity even means anymore. Are any of these emotional moments real? Or are we all just watching expertly produced scenes in a never-ending soap opera? So next time you see a celebrity tear up on camera, maybe don't reach for the tissues right away. Because in the end, Megyn Kelly's expose isn't just about one fake cry. It's about calling out the whole game. A game where tears are weapons, stories are performances, and sympathy is the prize. And if you ask me, that's way more entertaining than any reality show. Believe me, there's always more drama waiting just around the corner. And who knows, maybe next time the tears will be even faker, and the truth even harder to spot.